Hello, work life warriors. Happy Sunday. How are you? Are you ready for work tomorrow? When your alarm goes off, will you hop out of the bed ready to contribute your best self to the world? Or will you hit the snooze button 11 times? What did you do this weekend to add play, fun, joy, laughter to your life so that you de-stress, you reduce cortisol, and you're ready for work? What did you do? We work so very hard. We know you work hard. There isn't one day that we do not experience stress. So there isn't one day that we can't manage our stress. We must make it a priority because in order to improve the overall quality of our lives, we must manage the stresses that get in the way of the things that are important to us, or the things we want to do, or our hobbies, or who we want to be, or what we want to have, or where we want to go, right? We have to make sure that we're working every single day to close the gap between where we want to go, who we want to be, what we want to have, what we want to do. And the best way to do it is not to let your stress build up, not let it turn into a chronic illness or it be a daily stressor that you just ignore or deny or withdraw or escape. To be more proactive and manage your stress. And it's easy to do. It's actually fun to do. It doesn't have to be a chore. You just pick the things that you absolutely enjoy doing and you balance your obligations and duties with play, fun, laughter, joy, and the activities that you want to do. You do not want to just survive or exist and do what you have to do. You want to balance those things or find a way to bring play, fun, joy, laughter to the things that you have to do, your obligations. One of the best ways to reduce stress and an easy way to reduce stress in this day and age is to read. And I don't mean Facebook. No, I mean finding a way to read something where your eyes are shifting from left to right, back and forth for a certain amount of time, at least 10 minutes, because reading has so many health and wellness benefits, especially for your brain, and it definitely reduces cortisol, so it's a double win. And it's a way for us to improve our overall health and well-being, to obtain information to help us grow, develop stress. It is a way to improve our personal and professional development. So why aren't you reading? There are so many different genres of books. You get to pick what is entertaining to you and read about it. What isn't entertaining to me are obviously self-help books. I've been reading self-help books since college. Before that, I was just reading Zane. I think everybody was on Zane. I also, during college times, so now I read self-help books. And in addition to that, I tend to read a lot of research books, trade articles, and just books on my favorite topic, which is stress. And so this week we are doing Unstressable, another video on Unstressable. I've been doing them each week. As you can see, I have different tabs here. It was such a good book that I thought that I would mark everything that triggered information for me, and I would use them as talking points to help you practice stress management and wellness in a real sense, like not just talking about it in theory, but giving you the tools where you could practice it daily, right? Make it more practical. And so right now I think we are on 8 or 9, the 8 or 9th tab, and we are on page 32, and it is my second tab on this page, and it is under the remember section, and it says stress is a biological survival response that reconfigures our body and enable us to react to situations with the best abilities those bodies are capable of. So right above it, it says let's start with an accurate description of the normal working conditions that we have discussed so far. A stress response cycle triggered by a threat to elicit a response followed by a negative feedback loop that brings us back to calm. Right? So it's talking about the stress cycle. Something happens, it stimulates our attention. We decide whether it is harmful for us. If we believe that it's harmful for us, then we have what we need to react and respond. If we don't believe that it is harmful to us, then we also have the ability to normalize, right? To stabilize, to go back to calm. And so it is a cycle. And so just think about it in terms of living off the land. Stress is so magical. It is the key to life. It is something that I love talking about because we don't understand that it is the thread of life. If we did not experience stress, if we lived in paradise, we would just be comfortable, inconvenient, and would not strive for more. We would still be living off the land, living comfortably. We would not make these big societies rules and create order. So because of stress, whether it was good stress or bad stress, we decided to do something about our challenges and our problems and to stabilize our lifestyles. And so just thinking about how could we sustain in numbers if we did not understand or respond to stress, living off the land, if it was something in the bush and we just decided to be comfortable and not address it, it could mean life or death for us, right? And so stress helped us to think about how we can create sustainability so we can focus more on enjoying our lives and having a quality of life, right? Because when you spend most of your time looking for food, shelter, water, and defending yourself against predators, you don't have much time for anything else, entertainment or play or anything. You're in survival mode. So as we grew and created bigger societies and found ways to be more sustainable, our stresses just changed. We no longer have to worry about things jumping out on us, but we do have to worry about things threatening our well-being, our livelihood, our identity, our comfortability, and those are very real stresses that we must deal with, that we must address, right? And it says that it is a biological survival response, as I talked about, and then it enables us to react to situations with the best abilities that our body is capable of. So when we think about our body being a machine, you are harming yourself by not inputting the things that you need that can help you during times of stress. The reason why things are so stressful is because we have missing information and we spend a lot of our downtime putting in information that don't really help us grow, expand, or identify the world around us, or fortify our weaknesses, or strengthen our strengths. We just kind of distract, numb, obsess, withdraw, avoid the real stresses of our lives. So when you think about stress, when something bad happens, many people, stress out and freak out and because they haven't prepared for stress, or they just don't test themselves in stress. They don't build that anti-fragility to stress. We tend to avoid things that are hard, things that are hurtful, but it's in the challenges that we grow, we stretch, we develop. It's in the negativity, the harmful situations that we grow, that we learn the best lessons. Unfortunately, we do not grow as much in positivity and good things as we do negativity and bad things. And so stress is literally how you get the best out of society. Of course, anything that is too stress will snap or break. So I don't mean to stress it out where it no longer has the elasticity to bounce back, which again, it feels like in this day and age, we may be moving towards the part of or towards stress that we can't bounce back from, right? We are losing our flexibility, right? The elasticity in how stress relaxes, right? We lost it. Many of us, we don't know how to handle the very small stresses of our lives, criticisms, the problems, the challenges. We are avoiding to a whole nother level. It's saying 90% of doctor visits are for stress-related problems. So it means that we're not dealing with the stresses, and all roads lead to stress. So if we're not managing our stress, then it is managing us and it is deteriorating our health. And then we're not even necessarily thinking about it because we're always in survival mode and we're not thinking about how it's impacting our overall well-being. But we need to shift out of being in survival mode to thriving, shift out of stress to relaxation. And it is easier to do when you have the practices or the toolbox to practice stress management and wellness in your most stressful moments, right? You don't want to wait till things are so bad or you're in a stressful moment to test how capable you are to deal with stress. You want to basically work through the changes of stress daily throughout the day. You want to stress yourself out, but not necessarily chronic stress or daily stress. You want to stress yourself out in positive ways. to make sure that you are learning to cope with and manage your stress, and you are building your anti-fragility. Running away from problems or running towards pleasure make it so that you're fragile, that when things happen to you, it's not easy for you to bounce back, and that you may define yourself by that very thing or the things that you have. And when they are taken away from you, then you know, are no longer flexible, and you lose that elasticity, and you stress till you break. And we are seeing large numbers of people stressing till they break, whether that's heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. A lot of, like I said, 90% of these diseases and illnesses are stress related. So it means that our stress, which is a biological survival response, is turned on too often and too long. We are experiencing daily stress, and we should not be experiencing stress every single day. Stress is good for us or bad for us, but even if we're having good stress every single day, that is still too much stress. The severity of the stress, the frequency, all at once is not good for our health. We want to make sure that we are experiencing less stress, that what used to stress us, we work through it emotionally, we work through our behaviors as a reaction to the stressor, so that it no longer impacts us. Because every single day that we are experiencing stress, every single time there is a stressor that we ignore, we withdraw, we distract, we are depleting our ability to deal with stress, right? It creates that negative feedback loop that we talk about, right? You don't want to get in a negative feedback loop where stressors are impacting your emotions, your behaviors, your environments, and you do nothing about it but maladaptive coping, like ignoring, distracting, withdrawing, blaming, obsessing. Those things do not change your emotions or your behavior behind the stressor. So what you want to make sure is that you are doing what you can to reduce stress, to reduce cortisol, to use your toolbox to elicit relaxation instead of always inducing a stress response. Many of us are always in fight or flight. We are always in survival. We are just existing. We don't know how to shift from survival or out of survival mode. And it just really comes down to getting the education, training, and practice that you need to make sure that what you're inputting into your biological machine, your physical machine, is the information that will help to improve your quality of life during your most stressful times. So we all have the same amount of time a day, unfortunately. And so everything comes at an opportunity cost. If you are using most of your time on maladaptive techniques, you are avoiding, you're distracting, you're not using your time to eliminate your stressors, then what happens is that as you age, as more stress is placed on you, you are depleting your ability to deal with stress. And it's not necessarily fair to yourself. It's not fair to your community, your family, your job, the society that you're in, to neglect yourself, to not spend your time building your toolbox, fortifying your weaknesses, to make sure that you are identifying your strengths, leaning into them, and finding ways to supplement what can be improved on, or what can be added to your life or your lifestyle, your thoughts, your behaviors, your environments, to help improve them. It is easier for us to just go through life, take what's given to us, not necessarily focus on how our environment impacts us, but it's not the most beneficial thing that we can do for our health and our well-being, or for the people who count on us, in whatever context that is. So again, it says nothing more, nothing less. In this normal operating procedure scenario, stress truly is your best ally. And I would like to say absolutely. And here's why. Because stress helps you to, again, build your anti-fragility. And as long as you are anti-fragile, nothing in this world can break you. You are unbreakable. So think of fragility as a glass. If you drop a wine glass, it breaks and it's hard to put it back together, right? Think of resiliency as a sippy cup. If you drop a sippy cup, it doesn't break. You could bang it, you could drop it, you could roll it, and it doesn't break, but it also doesn't get better. Anti-fragility is like a bone. You could break a bone, but it heals back bigger, stronger. And we want to make sure that that's what we're doing. We are using stress to help us, grow so that we're bigger, stronger, wiser, smarter, faster, stronger, right? It is an opportunity, and it comes with practicing awareness, knowing what our stresses are, knowing who we are, knowing what we're doing to manage our stress, making sure that we are adaptively coping to stress and not maladaptively ignoring our stress or ignoring it, obsessing over it, denying it, escaping, blaming. All of these negative maladaptive tools don't necessarily help you. It just snowballs the problem and make it so you eventually end up with a chronic disease or illness. And who wants that, right? We want to age gracefully. We want to be able to be mobile as we age. We work so very hard. We don't want to get to the end of our careers and not be able to move around the way we need to move around. And so it's in our best interest to go ahead and manage our stress. Learn all about stress. Learn everything that you can about stress. Learn about stress management and wellness, and then find you environments and communities of practice to practice managing your stress, to create a counter culture of stress, right? That's how you balance your lifestyle, is to create a counter culture of wellness to the stress. So in society, stress is the culture, and your environment, your world, your internal world has to be a counter culture to stress. So although everything around you will stress you out, from your family to your work to yourself, you have to make sure that you do what's best for you. You prioritize, you practice, be proactive and practice reverse engineering the things that you need to do for your life. So if you have goals, dreams, or a person you want to be, somewhere you want to go, something you want to do, just reverse engineer it and create a plan and live up to it every single day. Make sure that you are not letting stress get in your way, and you are not letting the plan itself be a stressor. That you are balancing by doing the playful things, the fun things, the joyous things, even if people say it's guilty or childish or impractical or whatever the things that they say about play or what you're doing with your time. Play is a biological need. It's food, water, sleep, sex, play. And so it is in our best interest to play. Work isn't a biological need. As a matter of fact, work is an extension of play. The very first person who created whatever it is that you're doing right now for work, it wasn't work for them. It was play. Right? You have the ability to innovate, to create something new, to be somebody new, as long as you are using work as an extension of play. And you are not just working for a paycheck. You're not just working for status, for accolades, for titles, for power, but you are working with meaning, with purpose, and moving throughout this world with meaning and purpose, because we only have one life, right? And it is in our best interest and our responsibility to make it the best life possible. Right, to enjoy every single part of our life, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the things that we think we don't deserve to the things that we think we more than deserve. We want to, as the philosophers say, love our suffering. And so, again, stress is one of those things that make life worth living. It's actually pretty magical. It does not have to work against you, but you do have to manage it. You do have to practice mindfulness and make sure that your daily habits are countering stress, are reducing cortisol, that your practices are not maladaptive, and that they are improving the overall quality of your life. If you feel better after doing a thing, not just short term, but in the long term, if it is, you feel better as far as your emotions behind that thing, your actions behind the thing, and your environment, if those things change as a result, then you know you have adaptively coped to a stressor. If you still have negative emotions behind that, stressor, event, person, place, right, then you know you are not doing, you're not eliminating your stress. If your behaviors don't change, which means when that thing happens, you tend to avoid it. If you still are avoiding it, then it's maladaptive behavior. So we want to make sure that we are changing our emotions and our behavior, and if needed, our environments. We do not have to be in all environments. If work is stressful for you, or any environment you have to be in is stressful, do the work where you change your internal environment so it doesn't impact you, and then work on eliminating the internal stressor, that the environment, right? Whether it's changing it, adding play, fun, laughter, joy into it, switching it around. There are many different options, but you have to do something, right? Don't just sit on it. Don't just wait. Stress tends to snowball, and you don't want it to turn into a disease or chronic illness when it's too late to do something about it, or it's just much harder. So it's in our best interest to figure out what our stresses are, how can we eliminate it, learn what you need, train with the people you need to train. There is no shame in talking to a stress management coach or expert to help you figure out what your stresses are and to help you put a plan in place. Just make sure that it is something that you want to do. It doesn't feel like a chore and you dragging it, because then you won't do it and it starts the cycle all over again. And you deserve a quality life. You deserve practices that you can be happy about, that you want to do, that doesn't feel like a chore. And so just figure out who you need to talk to if you need to. You can, a lot of this stuff you can figure out on the internet. It took me years to figure out. I read many books, but I did eventually figure it out. You could talk to someone who can help you do it easier, help you identify things that you like to do that will be adaptive coping practices. Again, reading is one of them. So just pick up a book and read the things you want to read. That includes comics. Anything that you can read that takes on information. And again, everything comes at an opportunity cost. So when you could be reading something that could prepare you for your future, reading a comic book for entertainment is perfect, but it must be balanced. Don't use all of your time in entertainment. Use your time to develop yourself, to push yourself, to help grow, develop, be your best self. You deserve it. You deserve a quality life. You are more than worthy. And all it takes is for you to believe in yourself and to prioritize your well-being. You deserve it. Just simple, just like that. So I hope this helps work-life warriors. Please share with me in the chat. What do you think about everything that I just said? What do you think about stress as a biological survival response? How do you respond to stress? How are you eliminating your stress? I would love to know down in the comments. And as always, you have about maybe 12 hours. 12 hours before you have to get up and start preparing for work tomorrow, maybe a little bit more, 16 hours. Make sure you get out there and play the stress away. Do something fun and playful. Make sure that you are eliminating your daily stresses. You should not be experiencing stress every single day. It impacts your health. So it's very important that you do what you can, playful wise, whether it's work, family, school, whatever, to add play, fun, laughter, and joy. And don't care what people got to say. Don't care. Don't care. Do what's in your best interest, work-life warriors, because you have one life, and you deserve to have a quality life, regardless of what the people around you got to say or what you're obligated to do or what you signed up to do. You can do those things with a smile on your face. You can do those things playfully. You do not have to be mean, angry, nasty, or dread doing those things. Boom, I said it. You can add play, fun, laughter, joy into anything. I mean, anything. And it's professional. Debate me. So make sure that you are reading to take on the information to help improve the overall quality of your life. You will be glad you did. I always like to say that the quote, do something that your future self would thank you for later. I think that's by Patrick Flannery or something. Yes, make sure that every single day you're doing at least one thing that your future self would thank you for. And our brain is a muscle that we must work. So if you want to build some anti-fragility, you make sure that you build it within your brain, because you are going to need it to work your body as you age and to make sure that you are thoroughly enjoying your experience. You don't want to just exist. You deserve to thrive. So let's thrive. Let's do it together as a community of practice, and let's make sure that we are out there reading. So I hope this helps Work-Life Warriors. I will see you tomorrow for our stress well chat, and I'm always out on the inner streets. I'll see you Wednesday for our wellness work break, Friday for our Fun Funny Fridays laughter yoga. Thursdays are our tackle topic. Saturdays, we talk about play. I tend to do something playful online, and then we're back here on Sundays for another book review. So as always, I'm always on the inner streets. You can always contact me if you're looking for a stress management coach. I am here to help. Have a great day. Bye.